The following is yet another high school sports presentation brought to you by the high school sports leader in North Texas, 92.1 FM KXEZ, the Possum.
A very happy belated Thanksgiving to you and yours. We're coming to you from Sam Parker Field in Mount Pleasant, where we are to bring you this 4A regional round matchup between the Texarkana Pleasant Grove Hawks and your Quinlan Ford Panthers. Hello, everyone, and welcome. You're tuned in to 92.1 FM KXEZ. I'm Ethan Herrera. For joining me on this Friday afternoon, the first of our Texas high school playoff doubleheader. Today's regional round matchup features two teams with very different histories, but both are on the brink of changing the program's future. It's been a fairy tale season for the Quinlan Ford Panthers as they come in with an overall record of 12-0. District champions of District 6 4A Division 2, coming off their 35-34 victory over Pittsburgh, just edging them out in the area round. Playing the role of the ticking clock on the Cinderella story are the Texarkana Pleasant Grove Hawks, a 7-4 overall record, and coming in second in District 8 4A Division 2. The Hawks took down Glen Rose last week in a neck-and-neck double overtime game. A trip to the quarterfinals is at stake. We'll take a more in-depth look at both sides when we return on our countdown to kickoff on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Back here on 92.1 FM KXEZ, sponsors for today's ball game: Howard Barrow Alumni, Doggone Dirty Pet Grooming, Quinlan Family Dentistry, Century 21 Upchurch Real Estate, Belfiore Spa and Salon, North Texas Appliance, Smith's Quality Greenhouses, G&S Sales Building Materials, Waldron Electric and Maintenance, Ben Wheeler's Farmers Insurance Agency, RW Insurance, and Dairy Queen in Quinlan. It's been quite the story all year long, this Quinlan Ford Panthers team. We'll talk a little bit about their playoff history. Only 12 playoff appearances, including this one, in their history, dating back to 1979. They have 2 playoff wins this year, which is outstanding and astounding to think about, because coming into this year, they've had only three playoff wins prior to this. And this is the first time in the third round, the regional round of the Texas high school playoffs. The area round appearances they've had, which became their 3 wins before, if that makes any sense to you, in round 1, 1995 against Alvarado, 2009 against Pittsburgh, who they played last week in that same area round, and in 2012, Henderson. Since 2010, they've only had 2 playoff appearances. Last year was the first playoff appearance since 2012 when they lost to Godley in the bi-district round 41-12. Last week, the 5th win in school playoff history, first ever 10-0 season this year, and just the second time they've been outright district champions. You got to go all the way back to their first year, 1979, when head coach Jerry Trussell was patrolling the sidelines for Quinlan Ford. Let's talk about the head coach for these Panthers, Todd Wallace, in his 10th season for Ford, with a record of 47-56. They were coach champs in his first year back in 2012 and had an 8-4 record. And since 2012, only 1 winning season, and that was last year in 2020. They were 6-3. Todd Wallace has 21 seasons under his belt as a head coach. From 1998 to 2009, he coached Quinlan Bowls across the way from Quinlan Ford, and in his final 3 seasons had a district championship and was undefeated in that final year. He was also this year's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Coach of the Week in Week 10. So he really knows what he's doing for putting together this amazing and outstanding record that this Ford Panthers team has been on. And this streak, it's been incredible. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the history for the opponent, the Texarkana Pleasant Grove Hawks. And then we'll get into the stats and more detailed look about what's to come in this matchup when we come back on our countdown to kickoff on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Back on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Don't forget, if you can't get us here at 92.1 KXEZ on the radio, you can hear the games on TuneIn Radio. Go to TuneInRadio.com or the TuneIn Radio app. Click on 92.1 KXEZ and hear us anywhere in the world. So tell your out-of-town family and friends about TuneIn Radio. Also, 92.1 FM KXEZ and 95.3 FM KHYI, The Range, are deeply rooted and invested in North Texas. So thank you for listening and, of course, for all your continued support throughout the years. Texarkana Pleasant Grove, 7-5 coming in, 4-1 in district, second place in their District 8 4A. And they've been to the playoffs 18 times in their career, dating back in their program history, dating back to 1988. They've been around since 84, but the first time they made the playoffs was in 88. They've got an overall record, though, which is pretty great for a playoff record, 32-16 in those 18 playoff appearances, 8 district championships, and 2 state championships. They are a team, as of late, that has been firing on all cylinders in terms of program development and coaching staff. Everything's been clicking for the Texarkana Pleasant Grove Hawks. Last year, though, they lost in this round, the third round. We actually covered that game on KXEZ. They played Caddo Mills and lost on a last-second touchdown run from the quarterback from Caddo Mills. They lost that game 35-31. In 2019, they went to the state final, won a state championship against Wimberley. In 2018, they went to the state final again and lost to Cuero. 2017, I think you know where this is going, went to the state championship again. West Orange Stark, they beat them in the state championship to win their first ever state championship. Then in 2019, 2 years later, did it again. They've been to 8 straight playoffs, 8 straight playoff appearances, and since 2017, their first state championship run, they've been 21-2 in the playoffs. 21-2. Absolutely ridiculous numbers from this Pleasant Grove team. It's the 6th time in program history they've gotten second place in the district. Back in 2021, or this year, Gilmer was in first place in it. I mean, Gilmer, as we all know, is one of the best teams in 4A Division II in the state of Texas. Gilmer was edged out Pleasant Grove during the regular season as well. Let's talk a little bit about Josh Gibson, the head coach for the Texarkana Pleasant Grove Hawks, in his 8th season for Texarkana Pleasant Grove. All of his seasons being a head coach have been with Pleasant Grove. He's got a record of 79-29, and he has never missed the playoffs. 8 straight playoff appearances for Coach Josh Gibson, only missing one, actually having only one losing season in 2016. They still made the playoffs, though, 6-7, that overall record, 4-6 in the regular season. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the stats and everything that goes into it for the Quinlan Ford Panthers. We'll get into the numbers when we come back on our countdown to kick off on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Don't miss the UIL Football State Championship starting Wednesday, December 15th at the AT&T Center in Arlington, Texas. Ticket information and more can be found at uiltexas.org. And also, go see the friendly folks over there at North Texas Appliance in Rockwall, located at 1535 East I-30 on the South Service Road, about a mile from Wilkerson Sanders Stadium. Go by or call 972-771-0393. North Texas Appliance, a longtime sponsor of high school athletics here on 92.1 FM KXEZ. We know all about the Quinlan Ford Panthers run game, and that's what it is. They are one of the best, the best team in the nation in terms of rushing yards per game, over 525 yards per game on the ground. They were absolutely outstanding last week, and this season, amazing. But how did we get here? How did we get to the third round? Quinlan Ford. In the by-district round, they took on Godley. 49-23 victory over Godley. Last week in the area round, took on Pittsburgh, just edging them out 35-34. It was the biggest win. I've talked with Coach Jeff Irvin, Superintendent Jeff Irvin. I say coach because he knows so much about the game, but Jeff Irvin for Quinlan, the superintendent, we agreed it is the biggest win in program history, and it was. First time ever moving to the third round of the playoffs. In that game against Pittsburgh, they had a total yards of 368. Pittsburgh did a nice job of holding the run game to a standstill, and it was pretty much invisible on the passing side because they only had 37 yards. They ran for 331 on the ground, passed for 37. Rowdy Rowan, the field general, as they like to call him, started 3 of 4 in passing for those 37 yards, had 8 rushes for 30 yards and a touchdown run. Jaddonovan Williams, he's the backbone of this offense in the run game. 24 rushing attempts, 135 yards, a 2,000-plus yard rusher on the season, averages well over 8 yards a carry. Had 2 touchdowns last week. Caden Roden with a big touchdown to give him the lead, a 29-yarder on 4th and 1. With a minute left in the fourth quarter, he had 17 rushing attempts for 100 yards and a touchdown. The defense gave up 373 total yards, only 21 through the air and 352 on the ground. Something to watch out for, as Pleasant Grove has a really balanced attacking offense. So we'll see if what they can do against these Pleasant Grove Hawks. Let's go a little bit about the offensive numbers for this Ford football team. Jaddonovan Williams, we talked about, 196 carries on the year, 2,122 yards on the ground with 29 touchdowns. For Rowdy Rowan, he's got over 1,100 yards on 115 rushes for 15 touchdowns. And the other crazy stat, Caden Roden has 2,040 yards on the season with 25 touchdown runs, make it 1,940 yards on the season. So by the end of it, this Quinlan Ford Panthers team can have 2 rushers, 2 running backs with 2,000-plus yards on the season. They are absolutely dominant in the run game. They run that wing tee, fly tee, as Coach Todd Wallace likes to call it, and it's going to be quite the matchup here. The day after Thanksgiving, Friday afternoon football, the Texas High School Playoffs, 3rd round. The regional semifinal round is straight ahead on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Back on 92.1 FM KXEZ. And I'll talk just a quick second about Texarkana Pleasant Grove, their individual stats for them. You're going to look out for Jarrett Halter, just a freshman, but he's the quarterback for the Hawks, 59 of 131 on the year, 45%, 945 yards through the air, 13 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, something to look out for. The defense might come up big for Quinlan Ford if they want to get rolling and get past the 3rd round. Jalen Brodley, or Bordley, I should say, number 15, just a sophomore, very young in the backfield for Pleasant Grove. So they are going to rely heavily on those 2. 147 rushes for 1,025 yards, close to 7 yards a rush for Jalen Bordley. 19 touchdowns on the year for him. JoJo Bailey running another one. Bailey, 105 rushes, 613 yards, and only 3 touchdowns on the ground. 22 receptions for Bordley, actually, for 432 yards. 8 receptions for 166 for JoJo Bailey. Those 3 players are going to be the keys of this offense on the Texarkana Pleasant Grove side as we're lining up, ready to go. It is a beautiful day for some football here in Mount Pleasant. 51 degrees here at game time. Winds of 4 miles an hour coming from the east. And we are sitting here looking at Quinlan Ford wearing their blue jerseys, white pants, white helmets, white numbers as well. On the Texarkana Pleasant Grove side, the Hawks wear their white-clad uniforms, white on white on white, white helmets, white jerseys, white pants. And they've got that gold trim and gold numbers. Texarkana Pleasant Grove won the toss, deferred to the second half, and now they'll kick off toward the Quinlan side, left to right. They put the ball down at the 40-yard line. The 2 deep men for the Ford Panthers, Zaylen Morales and Marquise Graham. Enrique Rios on to do the kicking, left to right for the Texarkana Pleasant Grove Hawks. Round 3 of the Texas High School 4A playoffs is underway. Kickoff, left to right, high kick, fielded at the 15-yard line on the run by Marquise Graham. Outside the numbers on the right side, the 25 to 30, break free. Outside the numbers again and brought out of bounds past the 35-yard line. The first possession of the game for Quinlan Ford will start at the 37. Look at our first look at the offense. This fly tee, as Coach Todd Wallace likes to say. It's not a wing tee. They run a heck of a lot of big body jumbo sets, 3 tight end sets with 2 running backs. They are going to run it down the throats of their opponents, and they're not going to stop. Rowdy Rowan, the quarterback, stands at 5'11", 165 pounds. The senior stands in, gets under center. Behind him is Roden, Caden Roden. Motion right to left. It's Donovan Williams. The handoff, shooting outside. Gets inside the left hash. The 40, the 45, the 50, the 45, then brought down outside the numbers. Already one play inside Texarkana Pleasant Grove territory. Pleasant Grove not ready for that big run by Donovan Williams to start the game. It'll be to the 43 from the left hash mark. Right to left. 1st and 10 from there. Only 20 seconds off the clock, and we've already got some excitement. Donovan Williams comes off. He had a couple of injuries and times he had to be looked at in the 4th quarter last week. He comes off, and Caden Roden, the running back. Under center is Rowan. Hands off to Roden. Off the left tackle. Puts his shoulder down. Strucks him. Outside the left numbers and out of bounds past the 35-yard line. Caden Roden put his shoulder into the defender and let him have it. Close to the first down mark, and it is back-to-back first down on back-to-back plays for the Ford Panthers. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line, from the left hash mark, going right to left. Rowdy Rowan gets the play from Coach Todd Wallace. Now heads back to his huddle. Talks to his guys and his team. They break huddle. He goes under center. Directs traffic. Caden Roden in at fullback. They hand it to Marquise Graham right up the middle and scooped up, swallowed up, and thrown to the ground. Gain of about 1 on the play. Marquise Graham, who had a 53-yard touchdown run last game in the area around. This time, not so much, just a 1-yard gain on first down, 2nd and 9 from the 31-yard line. I made it off the clock here in the first quarter from Mount Pleasant. Rowdy Rowan under center. Donovan Williams back in the ball game. He moves in motion left to right. They hand it to Roden. Up the middle, dancing around to the right side off the left guard, and a gain of 2 on the play to the 29-yard line. Up the middle to the 29-yard line, gain of about 2. I mentioned Roden on this season, nearing that 2,000-yard marker. He averages about 10.5 per carry, and he's got 25 touchdowns on the season. Donovan Williams, even more explosive, 2,100 yards, 29 touchdowns. Roden behind Rowan, they sweep it out to the right side. Now the left side. Donovan Williams gets outside the numbers on the 30-yard line and gets it to the 27. Nice run on 3rd down. This is the kind of thing that Coach Todd Wallace talked about. If they're not going to really punt the ball, they very rarely will unless it's a long play. It says 39. It seems like they've got 2 downs to get it, he says. And right now, at a 4th and 4, they are indeed going for it. 4th and 4 from the 22-yard line. They get the 26-yard line. 22 is the line to gain, going right to left. Rowdy Rowan talks to his team. They get under center, 10 seconds on the play clock. Under center he goes. 2 running backs behind him. First real down of the game so far. 4th and 4. Caden Rowan hops over the line, jumps forward. The 25 pushes his way forward. Very close to the first down marker. We'll see if they've got it. Texarkana is celebrating, and the referee says no. Turnover on downs. Pleasant Grove has the ball with 10:06 on the clock in the first quarter. They went for it on 4th down, 4th and 4, as we've seen them do so many times this year, and Ford couldn't get it to go. So now we'll see Jarrett Halter, the freshman, leading this Pleasant Grove Hawks team. As a toss out to the left side, trying to get outside the left hash, and does past the 25-yard line. A flag comes in. Right now, they get down to the 29-yard line. That was Jalen Bordley on the carry. See what the referee has to say. Holding on the offense, says the referee, which is Cody Nolan. The officials for today: referee Cody Nolan, umpire Willie Mitchell, head linesman Trace Wynn. The line judge is Jeff Williams, and the back judge is Anthony Stone. Holding penalty pushes them back 10 yards. They get it back to the 13-yard line. 1st and 20. Man in motion. Throwing out to the right side. Halter has Bordley, but incomplete. Just short of Bordley, who tried to dive back and get it. It's 2nd and 20. Jalen Bordley, 1,000-yard rusher and a 430-plus yard receiver. He really is the key man for the Pleasant Grove. 9:49 and counting, or 9:49 on the clock here in the first quarter after the incomplete pass. Scoreless here in the third round, the regional semifinal matchup from Mount Pleasant, Texas. 2nd and 20 from the 13-yard line. Under center goes Halter. Takes the snap, pitches it out to the left side, and tripped up, brought down in the backfield. A loss on the play of 2. And the Ford defense comes up big. It was Spencer Danner. They try to flip it out to him. 3rd and 20. Halter takes the snap, drops back, screen pass out to Borley on the left side, and bottled up. Quinlan Ford, for the second play in a row, tackles a Hawk down for a loss. Inside the 10-yard line to the 9. That'll make it 4th and 24 on the play. With 8:50 on the clock in the first quarter, the punt unit comes out. They go to block it, but the punter gets it away. Nobody there to return for Quinlan Ford. As it's angling to the left sideline, hits down to the 40, that's the 40 numbers, and then goes out of bounds near the 45-yard line. And Quinlan Ford will get the ball back already inside Pleasant Grove territory. It'll be the 47-yard line. And the second possession of the ball game for the Ford Panthers. They went for it on 4th and 4 inside Pleasant Grove territory, didn't get it. And then a quick 3 and out for the defense. Comes up big with 8:37 on the clock in the first quarter. Scoreless. Rowdy Rowan heads under center. Behind him is Caden Roden, the running back. Donovan Williams in motion, right to left. They sweep it. He cuts it upfield, past the guard, past the 45-yard line, and down to the 42. 8:30 on the clock in the first quarter. Nice gain on first down of 5 for Donovan Williams. Brings up 2nd and 5 from the 42-yard line. Beautiful crowd as they pile in and still come into the stands here in Mount Pleasant, Sam Parker Field in Mount Pleasant High School. The home of the Tigers. Gracious hosts for this regional round of matchup. Rowdy Rowan under center to Donovan Williams. Motion left to right. They hand it to Caden Roden, who's tripped up in the backfield and brought down. In to make that tackle for Pleasant Grove was Lance Jackson, the freshman. Loss of 4 on the play makes it 3rd and 9. So this is a quote that Coach Todd Wallace talked about before. He said 3rd and 9 is 2 downs for them. They're gonna take some. Most people, they'll try to get the first down on 3rd and 9. He says it's going to take us 2. We're going to run 2 plays, 3rd and 9 at one point. To Donovan Williams to the right side. No. Play action. Counter. Caden Roden tripped up. He had open space, but was held down by the foot and finally brought to the ground by B.J. Rayfield. And it was just a gain of 3 on the play to the 43-yard line. 4th and 6 from the 43. And Coach Todd Wallace electing to punt this time. He liked what his defense did to the Pleasant Grove Hawks on their first possession. And a timeout is going to be called by head coach Todd Wallace. 30 seconds. We'll be back on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Back on 92.1 FM KXEZ. We've got a 4th and 6. 4th and 6 here for the Quinlan Ford Panthers. Rowdy Rowan looks like he's going to drop back to punt this one away from the 43-yard line of Texarkana. Beat man for Texarkana is Jonathan Ketchum. Rowan punts it away, and a nice punt, angling for the right sideline, hits down to the 16-yard line, bounces around, and just stops right there. Takes a little bit forward roll in favor of Ford, and is down to the 12-yard line. Beautiful, beautiful punt from Rowdy Rowan, who really does it all. Quarterback, of course, punts it away, and he is a safety on the defense. You see that a lot from these smaller schools, these 4A teams. They've got pretty much more than half of everybody on each side goes both ways, offense and defense. And with 6:43 on the clock in the first quarter, scoreless, Pleasant Grove will get their second possession of the game. Jarrett Halter comes out there, tossed out to the right side, trying to get outside the numbers, puts his shoulder down, gets to the 15-yard line, and down right at the 15. Gain of about 3 on the play. On that run for Texarkana, Pleasant Grove was Colin Manning.
Colin Manning with the carry. Gain of about 3 on the play.
Manning on the year. That was just his 6th carry on the season, folks. But he's got 110 yards coming in with a couple of touchdowns. That time it gets 3, 2nd and 7 from the 16-yard line. Under center goes Halter. They snap it to him. Play action. Two-leg out to the left side. Fires toward the middle and picked off. Picked off by Marquise Graham at the 22. Turnover and takeaway for the Ford Panthers. Deep inside Pleasant Grove territory. .6:05 on the clock. As Jarrett Halter rolled out to the left, tried to throw it in traffic and thread the needle, but right there was Marquise Graham. The 6', 215 senior comes up big and gets the first takeaway of the game for the Ford Panthers. Rowan back out there under center from the right hash mark. Stands in, sends a man in motion to Donovan Williams. They fake it, counter, off to the left side, still going, and down to the 20-yard line. Just a gain of 2 on that run was Blake Holbrook.
And a 2 on the play. Tackle by number 21, Reed Elrod.
Holbrook got a couple of yards on the play, down to the 21. Just 1 yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9 with 5:40 and counting in the first quarter to play. Scoreless from Mount Pleasant. Rowdy Rowan checks his play sheet on his wristband. Now talks to his line. Breaks huddle. Under center he goes to Donovan Williams. In motion. Left to right. They toss it to Caden Roden. Counter. Up the middle he goes. Fights his way past the 20 and down near the 25-yard line. It'll be a couple of yards short of the first down marker. Bring up 3rd and short. 5:15 and counting in the first quarter. Quinlan Ford trying to make something happen and take advantage of this takeaway. For Halter, that was his 19th interception thrown on the year. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan to Donovan Williams. Comes in. They hand it to him off the guard. Close to the first down marker. We'll see where they actually mark him at. The line judge comes in, and they're waiting for the spot. They're short. They're short by just a second. Did I say second? Just an inch is probably what I meant to say. And it's 4th and inches. 4:30 here in the first quarter. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan. 2 running backs behind him. Sends a man in motion to Donovan Williams. They hand it to Caden Roden. The 10-yard line. The 5. Touchdown. Ford. Just a sweep off the tackle on the left side, and Caden Roden strikes first for the Ford Panthers. On for the extra point try, Juan Munoz, who had the go-ahead extra point last week. Rowan the holder. It's down. Kick is up, and it's good. 7-0. Quinlan Ford over Texarkana Pleasant Grove in the 3rd round of the high school playoffs. With 4:21 on the clock, 7-0 on 92.1 FM, KXEZ. KXEZ. It was a 12-yard touchdown run for. It was a 12-yard touchdown run for Caden Roden. It opened up the scoring for the Ford Panthers. With 4:21 on the clock here in the first quarter, 7-0. They'll kick this one off and goes out of bounds, or fair caught, I should say. And the Texarkana Pleasant Grove Hawks will come in and start their 3rd possession of the game. for Caden Roden. That was his 26th touchdown run of the year, of the season. And in the shotgun now is Jarrett Halter. To the left of him is the running back Fordley. They hand it off on a sweep to the right side. Jet sweep and a gain of 2 on the play. On that run for Pleasant Grove was Russell Collins. Just a gain of 2 would bring up 2nd and 8 from the 42-yard line. Now from the left hash mark, Jarrett Halter, the quarterback, trying to make something happen for Pleasant Grove. Under 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 7-0. Ford over Pleasant Grove. Pistol formation. Halter fakes it. Up the middle he goes. Quarterback keeper. Left side. Makes a man miss. Breaks an ankle. 45, 50, 40, 35, 30. Down the left sideline. Dives for the end zone and touchdown. My goodness. Big time touchdown run for Pleasant Grove. Answers the call. A 58-yard touchdown run for the quarterback. And they're an extra point away from tying it at 7. Enrique Rios puts it up and in. It's 7-7. Tie ball game. 3:42 on the clock in the first on 92.1 FM KXEZ. 92.1 FM KXEZ is your Metroplex home for Texas A&M football and men's basketball. Aggie football team will head to Death Valley on Saturday to take on the LSU Tigers. Kickoff at 6 p.m. Pregame at 5. Kicking off left to right. Rios fielded at the 10-yard line with Marquise Graham. Dances around, gets to the 15 to 20. But falls forward past the 30-yard line to the 31. And that's where Ford will take over. Quinlan Ford had himself a tie ball game. It was a 58-yard touchdown run from the quarterback, Jarrett Halter.
Stewart, number 25, with the tackle.
That's tied it up with 3:36 on the clock here in the first quarter. 7-7. 31-yard line going right to left from the right hash mark. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan. Caden Roden behind there. Rowan sweeping out to the right side with a couple of blockers and a gain of maybe 1 on the play. Bringing up 2nd and 9 after that first down run from the quarterback, Rowdy Rowan. 3:25 and counting in the first quarter. 7-7. We've got a good game here already. It looks like we're going to go back and forth. We had a beautiful, outstanding game last week against the Pittsburgh Pirates for Quinlan Ford. It was just a beauty. Game for the ages, and would end up being the biggest win in program history for Quinlan Ford. This time, trying to make this one equally as great. Rowan under center, hand off to the left side, sweeping left to Donovan Williams. Gets outside the numbers, had a couple of blockers, and pushed out of bounds past the 35-yard line. Gain of about 3 on the play. We'll make it 3rd and 6 from the 35-yard line. Their own 35 for Quinlan Ford. Ford again in their blue jerseys, white pants, blue helmets, white numbers, and white trim for the Ford Panthers. Rowan talks to his group. They clap their hands and get ready for this 3rd and 6 play from the 35-yard line. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan. Caden Roden now to the left side, puts his shoulder down and dives forward to the 40-yard line. Just short of the line to gain. They get 4th and 1 from the 40.
Up the middle.
Caden Roden, they're going to use those two backs all game long. Roden and Williams. Donovan Williams, a 2,000-plus yard rusher, and Caden Roden, I should say, very close, 40 yards short of that 2,000-yard mark. He had 100 yards last week, and Roden coming up big already with a touchdown run. 4th and 1 from the 40-yard line in the first quarter. 2:20 and counting. Hand off to Roden. Hit in the backfield, puts his shoulder down, and carries his man across the first down marker. First down to Quinlan Ford.
Roden with the carry.
Gets it to the 43-yard line.
The 43-yard line. First
With
down.
2:12 and counting here in the first quarter. Tie ball game, 7-7.
Tackle by number 7.
Donovan Williams back into the ball game, coming in for Zaylen Morales, who comes out. Rowdy Rowan talks to his head coach, Todd Wallace, talks to his offense, and now they set under center. Caden Roden behind him. They fake it to him. Now goes sweeping right to the right side. Outside the right hash to Donovan Williams. Breaks the tackle in the backfield. Goes out across the numbers and across the right sideline. And a first down for Donovan Williams and the Ford Panthers.
First down, Panthers.
They get inside a Pleasant Grove territory to the 46-yard line. I tell you what, the entire community in town of Quinlan is pumped and excited. You should have seen driving down I-30 coming out here to Mount Pleasant. I saw so many vehicles with painted cars and painted windows saying, "Let's go Panthers." And I'm saying the same thing. Let's go Panthers on 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Rowdy Rowan, quarterback keeper, goes out to the left side toward the middle of the field and hit down hard near the 41.
Rowdy Rowan was the quarterback keeper. 41-yard
5-yard gain on first down makes it 2nd and 5 from the 41-yard line with a minute and a half left to go in the first quarter. Tie ball game, 7-7. The crowd on the visiting side, that's Pleasant Grove, are in full swing. The crowd here on the home side are getting pumped up as well as people are still finding their seats. We got a tie ball game. 1:10 on the clock. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan. To Donovan Williams, the running back right behind him. Tossed out to him to the left side and hit in the backfield. Hit in the backfield to make the stop and make the play for Pleasant Grove was the big Ezra Youngblood, the outside linebacker. What a name for a linebacker, right? Youngblood. Beautiful. 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. 7-7 tie ball game. 3rd and 6. Now 3rd and 6 from the 42-yard line. Going right to left. Rowan under center. Hands off to Donovan Williams. Still fighting his way and brought down, looks like before the first down marker to the 38-yard line. With 22 seconds on the clock and counting in the first quarter, they might want to just let this one wind down. We'll see if they do or if they don't with 15 seconds to go on the play clock. Rowdy Rowan limping a little bit toward the sideline, and that is exactly what they'll do as 5 seconds are left here in the first quarter. And that'll be the end and final play of the first quarter. We'll have a 4th and 2 from the 38-yard line when we come back in the second. 7-7 the ball game in the 3rd round of the high school playoffs, Texas high school playoffs in 4A. 7 for Pleasant Grove, 7 for Quinlan Ford on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Back on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Start of the second quarter we go. 7-7 here in the 3rd round of the playoff. Quinlan Ford has the ball going left to right from the left hash mark. Rowdy Rowan, quarterback keeper, bootlegging out to the right side, breaks free at the 35-yard line and brought down at the 30-yard line exactly, but there is some laundry out on the field as Cody Nolan threw one of his penalty flags.
Holding against the Panthers.
It'll be holding against Quinlan Ford. So that first down run on 4th down is negated by a holding call. And that'll certainly change up the approach on this 4th and 2. It's now 4th and 12. And indeed, Quinlan Ford will punt this one away.
Back deep for the Hawks, number 9, Keelan Benton.
It's Keelan Benton back to return for Pleasant Grove. Rugby-style kick from Rowan. Fielded at the 20-yard line on the run by Benton. Past the 25 to 30 and brought down hard at the 35-yard line. Coming in to make that tackle for Quinlan Ford was Zaylen Morales. And Pleasant Grove, after scoring a 58-yard touchdown on a run by the quarterback, comes back out here. The quarterback, Jarrett Halter, they'll come out for their first possession of the second quarter with 11:41 on the clock. 7-7 the ball game. Well, a new quarterback in there. It's Akari Johnson. Pass to the left side. They hand it to the right side. Now he goes as Jalen Bordley bows his way down to the 38-yard line. They get a 37. I'm going to correct myself. It was actually Akari Johnson who had that 58-yard touchdown run, if I can actually speak today, to start the scoring for Pleasant Grove. And it's 7-7. In at quarterback, Johnson still stands in the shotgun pistol formation. Bordley behind him. Man in motion, left to right. That's Russell Collins. Bordley gets it up the middle, off the left guard, still powering his way, flips the tackle past the 40-yard line and dives forward to the 45, and a first down for Pleasant Grove.
Carry up the middle for a Hawks first down.
11 minutes to go, 1 minute off the clock in the second quarter. 7-7 the ball game. Johnson fakes it, bootlegs out to the right side, evades pressure this time, doesn't get it. Down goes Johnson, and it's a big-time sack for the Ford Panthers. Jeremiah Coleman came in and made the play. Jeremiah Coleman and Travis Shirley
Ball back on the 39-yard line.
help make that sack happen, and they go back to the 39-yard line. Second and 16 from the middle of the field. Johnson in the shotgun. Flags come in. And an insult to injury after that sack, as a false start will move the Pleasant Grove Hawks back 5 yards. So it'll be 2nd and 21. Second and 21 now from the 34-yard line. 10-15 and counting here in the second quarter. Tie ball game, 7-7. Akari Johnson in at quarterback. Drops back, looks to the right side, fires to the right side. High throw, incomplete. Intended for his receiver, Ben Bricker. But just wide and just high out of the outstretched hands of Bricker. Makes it 3rd and 21. 10:05 on the clock in the second quarter. Pistol formation. Johnson drops back, looks to the middle of the field, fires to the right side. He's got a man caught at the 50-yard line, close to the first down marker. Gain of 20 on the play to the 46. A beautiful pitch and catch from Bordley to Russell Collins.
Big game for the Hawks.
So it'll be 4th and 1. 4th and 1 now. We'll see what the play call is. I mean, I have no doubt that they're going to go for it. Pleasant Grove getting their play from the sideline. 9:57 here in the second quarter to go. Shotgun for Akari Johnson. Bordley behind him. Collins in motion left to right. The ball is snapped on the ground. Well, a flag comes in. Probably in the motion in the area of false start. We'll see what the call is. It is a false start on Pleasant Grove. Big time break for the Ford Panthers. And that changes up the play call quite a bit, as the punt unit will come out. Instead of going for it on 4th and 1, it's 4th and 6. And I'll just punt this one away. Punt unit for Pleasant Grove is out there. It's Caden Martin who gets this one away. And it hits off one of the Pleasant Grove players, but nobody was back there to receive for Quinlan Ford. In the past 2 weeks, we've seen that when the offense punts the ball away, Quinlan Ford doesn't send the deep man back there. Well, this one gets down at the 12-yard line, and Quinlan Ford will take over right there on the tie ball game, 7-7, 9:45 on the clock. Sponsors for today's ball game: Howard Barrow Alumni, Doggone Dirty Pet Grooming, Quinlan Family Dentistry, Century 21 Upchurch Real Estate, Belfiore Spa and Salon, North Texas Appliance, Smith Quality Greenhouses, GNS Discount Sales, Waldron Electric, Ben Wheeler's Farmers Insurance Agency, RW Insurance, and Dairy Queen and Quinlan. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan, hands it to Caden Roden. No, quarterback keeper, up the middle he goes, and again at 2 on the play to the 15. 2nd and 8 with 9:37 on the clock. Tie ball game, 7-7 in the regional semifinal round, the 3rd round of the Texas High School Playoffs. Quinlan Ford scored, open up the scoring by Caden Rowan, running in a 12-yard touchdown. Roden with his 26th touchdown on the season. And then the ensuing possession for Pleasant Grove ran a 58-yard touchdown, 58-yard run in for a touchdown. Donovan Williams moving out to the left side, gets outside the left hash, down the left numbers. The 25-yard line, the 20-yard line, I should say, and out of bounds near there. They're going to give him the 19. So it'll be 3rd and 3 from the 19-yard line from the left hash mark, going left to right. 9:06 on the clock here in the second quarter. Rowdy Rowan gets the play call from Todd Wallace on the sideline. Nothing like day football, especially day playoff football on a Friday. Caden Roden off to the left guard and has the first down on 3rd and 3. First down, Quinlan Ford. They move the chains.
Up to the middle for a Panther first down.
First down for the Panthers. Now at the 24-yard line. Beautiful facility here at Mount Pleasant, all turf field. They've got the green turf, obviously, and then they've got their gold, yellow, and black trimmed all around it. Beautiful, beautiful stadium here in Mount Pleasant, as Rowdy Rowan will pass this time, drops back to the right side, incomplete, intended for Caden Roden, just out of the outstretched arms of him down the right sideline. First pass attempt for Rowdy Rowan goes incomplete. Rowan on the season has only completed 19 passes of 38 for 498 yards and 2 touchdowns. He does have 2 interceptions as well. Under center goes Rowan. 2nd and 10. And a timeout, says the line judge from Coach Todd Wallace. While they take a timeout, we'll take a listen to this on 92.1 FM KXEZ. FM, KXEZ coming out of the timeout. A toss out to the right side to Caden Roden. Has some blockers at the 25-yard line and powers his way across there to the 27. That 3rd and 10 run, or 2nd and 10 run, will make it 3rd and 7. Tie ball game, 7-7, 8:20 and counting in the second quarter. A couple of good drives and good touchdown runs from either side, as each sees 7 points on their side of the scoreboard. From the right hash mark, and the 27-yard line, Rowdy Rowan under center, takes the snap, fakes it to the left, now hands it off to the right side to Donovan Williams, tripped up in the backfield. Brought down in the backfield by B.J. Rayfield.
Donovan Williams tripped up in the backfield by number 7, B.J. Rayfield.
Back to the original line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th and 10 from the 24-yard line. Keelan Benton on to receive as the punt unit comes onto the field for Quinlan Ford. 7:25 on the clock. They get set with 10 on the play clock. Rowan steps into this one, end over end, but not a very far punt. It's down to the 45-yard line. It takes a good Quinlan Ford roll into Pleasant Grove territory, down at the 47-yard line. So Pleasant Grove will take over right there. Stay with us after the conclusion of this game, as I'll be with you all day today to bring you the best Texas high school playoff matchups in North Texas. Later tonight, we'll have the regional semifinal matchup between the Lovejoy Leopards and the Timberview Wolves. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. tonight, with the pregame at 6:30. So be sure to stay tuned in to 92.1 FM KXEZ today, your Metroplex leader in high school sports. Johnson in the shotgun, hands this one off to Bordley on the left side, bounces it out to the left hash mark and down across the midfield mark to the 49-yard line. 7 minutes and counting here in the second quarter. Tie ball game, 7-7.
To the 48-yard line of the Hawks.
Bordley on the year, over 1,000 yards on the ground and over 400 yards through the air. Or I should say receiving. Shotgun for Akari Johnson. Quarterback keeper, the draw, up the middle he goes and brought down after a gain of about 4 on the play. Make it 3. About 4 to the 45-yard line, 3rd and 2.
Number 52, Gavin Steiger with the tackle.
6:20 and counting in the second quarter. Man in motion, left to right. That's Collins. Akari Johnson takes the handoff and falls forward. A quarterback keeper. He's got the first down to the 42-yard line.Moving the chains of the Texarkana Pleasant Grove Hawks.
Quarterback number 2, Akari Johnson.
I'm going to remind you of this outstanding and astounding stat for Pleasant Grove. They are 21-2 in the playoffs in the last, or since 2017. 21-2 in the playoffs. Ridiculous. In 4 years. Man in motion, left to right. They hand it to Collins on the sweep. The jet sweep. Has a blocker to the right side. Gets outside the hash marks. Now the numbers brought down across the 40-yard line to the 43-yard line. Nice gain on first down for Pleasant Grove. Remember, folks, this Pleasant Grove team has had three straight playoff state championship appearances. From 2017 to 2019, 3 years in a row to the state finals. They won 2 of those 3. Last year got knocked out in the third round by Caddo Mills. This time, trying to make it past this third round is Quinlan Ford. Trying to say something about that. Jalen Bordley to the right side, off the right guard, past the 35-yard line and down to the 33. Close to the first down marker, which is the 32, bringing up third and short. Under 5 minutes to go left in this first half. Not a cloud in sight. A beautiful day here on their Friday afternoon, the day after Thanksgiving. I'm sure you watched football all day long yesterday. This time you get to hear it all day long. This is the first game of the doubleheader on KXEZ of the Texas High School Playoff. And off Fordley again, right up the middle, trying to push the pile, and I don't know if he got it, folks, but he's very, very close. No official sign from the referee. And he's short. He's short. 4th and inches. 4th and about half a yard, actually. 4:15 on the clock in the second quarter. Down it goes. 7-7 is the score. They're going to go for it, it looks like. Or at least they're taking their time. Akari Johnson getting the play from the sideline. Coach Josh Gibson mulling it over with 10 seconds on the play clock. I wouldn't be surprised if they take the timeout. And he does. Timeout, Pleasant Grove with 3:51 on the clock in the second quarter. Tie ball game at 7. 4th and 1 coming when we come back. 30 seconds on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Back on 92.1 FM KXEZ. 7-7 the ball game. Coming out of the timeout. A 4th and 1 from about the 32.5-yard line. From the middle of the field going right to left. Texarkana Pleasant Grove trying to make something happen. Coach Josh Gibson talks to his team, and we'll see Akari Johnson, who has a long 58-yard touchdown run already in this game. Stands in the shotgun, Borley to the right of him, 2 receivers to the right side, 2 tight ends in the ball game. The snap to Johnson, a flag comes in, the play stops. And a false start, another false start on 4th and 1 for Pleasant Grove. It'll push him back 5 yards. So it'll be 4th and 6 now from the 37-yard line. Looked like the play call was Akari Johnson on the quarterback keeper, on the quarterback power to the right side. This time, they're staying out there. They punted it last time when this scenario happened around this side of the field. And now Johnson in the shotgun, Bordley behind him in the pistol. Johnson drops back, steps up, fires to the right side, caught at the 30-yard line. A beautiful catch and grab. My goodness, Russell Collins caught at the right hash mark, past the first down marker, and a first down for Pleasant Grove. But something is going on as the official, Cody Nolan, is talking to both sidelines. The chains haven't been moved yet, although the ball's been spotted at the 29-yard line. And we're not quite sure what's going on, as the referee, Cody Nolan, is talking to Todd Wallace right now in the sideline for Quinlan Ford. Not sure what's going on as the referee's looking to the sideline and now walks.
Have your attention, please. Whoever is blowing the horns during play, please stop that.
I don't know if you can hear that clearly through the radio, folks, or the PA announcer just told whoever was blowing the air horn that you might be hearing to stop that. And that's a direct quote. That's verbatim right there. 3:45 on the clock in the second quarter. A first down for Pleasant Grove on the 29-yard line. From the right hash mark, going right to left. Tie ball game, 7-7. As the referees are still trying to piece this one together on exactly what's going on. Still no football right now. And now it looks like play will resume. 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Right hash marker, Kari Johnson, the shotgun. Collins, left to right, in motion, and now a quarterback keeper. Johnson, the 25, the 20. The Panthers collide all over him at the 12-yard line and finally bring him down right there. 3:35 and counting.
The quarterback keeper takes it down to the 12-yard line.
And Akari Johnson, who's made an impact with his legs already in this one, does it again and brings him to the 12.
Morales. First down.
First down for Pleasant Grove at the 12-yard line. 1st and 10. Akari Johnson hands it to Jalen Borley. Up the middle he goes, past the 10, diving forward to the 9-yard line. Or the 6-yard line, I should say. 3:10 on the clock in the second quarter.
Borley up the middle.
Pleasant Grove trying to wind the clock down as much as possible, as well as tapping off and capping off this drive.
Ball 5 to the 7-yard line.
Started from the 46-yard line, their own 46. It'll be a 54-yard drive if they can score. Akari Johnson in the shotgun to the left of him is Jalen Borley. Borley, right side, makes the man miss in the backfield and hit hard past the 5-yard line and down right there. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Borley down near the 4-yard line. 3rd down.
They mark him down
32 Kate Road.
at the 5-yard line. 3rd and 2. So you can get the first down and not necessarily get the touchdown. 2:20 on the clock and counting here in the second quarter. First half, 7-7 the ball game as they're trying to wind the clock down. They've got 9 seconds on the play clock. Coach Josh Gibson looks like he's going to call a timeout when it gets close to it. And he does. Calls his second timeout of the ball game. And we'll call our timeout as well. Back here on 30 seconds on 92.1 FM, KXEZ. 92.1 FM, KXEZ is your Metroplex home for Texas A&M men's basketball. The A&M men's basketball team will play at Reed Arena for the first time in 2 weeks to play host to the New Orleans Privateers next Tuesday. Tip off at 6 p.m., pregame at 5:30. 2:02 on the clock here in the second quarter. 7-7 ball game we've got going in the third round of the high school playoffs. Akari Johnson, 3rd and 2 from the 5-yard line in the shotgun with Borley to the right of him. Now he's in motion to the right. Akari Johnson trying to tuck it and run and keep it himself and brought down in the backfield. Quinlan Ford comes up big on the defensive end. Again, it was Travis Shirley getting in the mix.
Quarterback keeper tackle for a loss. Ball over the 9-yard line. 4th down.
It'll bring up 4th and about 7 on the play. With 1:35 and counting in the second quarter to go. Looking to see what the play call is going to be as Davion Stewart comes into the ball game as the running back to the right of Akari Johnson. 5 seconds on the play clock, and they're going to wind it down. Josh Gibson doing all he can to leave as little time as possible in this half for the Quinlan Ford Panthers.
Timeout, Pleasant Grove.
Shop where we shop, folks. North Texas Appliance in Rockwall, located at East I-30. For famous brands like Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, General Electric, Monogram, and many others. First quality appliances also come at good quality prices. That's North Texas Appliance in Rockwall. Out of the timeout now. It'll be 4th and 7 from the 9-yard line. And the field goal unit is coming out for Pleasant Grove. It's Enrique Rios. It was 2 for 3 on the year. His longest is 25. This one from 21 yards away, 26 yards away. And flags come in before. Slight wind blowing right to left if you're wondering about the leg of Enrique Rios, but only about 4 miles an hour. We'll see what the laundry is all about. And wow.
Delay of game.
And a delay of game called on the defense. That's Quinlan Ford. Pretty unusual to see a delay of game called delay of game called on the defense, but we saw one. With 1:13 left to go, the field goal unit is going back out there as they go right back toward the line of scrimmage. This one is now from about 21 yards out. Good snap, hold is down, kick is up, and Enrique Rios gives Pleasant Grove the lead. 10-7, Pleasant Grove over Quinlan Ford with 1:11 on the clock in the second quarter on 92.1 FM, KXEZ. 21-yard field goal from Enrique Rios to give the lead to the Pleasant Grove Hawks. And he'll kick off right now. It looks like he's almost lining up for an onside kick, to be honest. 10-7 the score with 1:11 on the clock in the second quarter. Rios to kick off for Pleasant Grove. And a sky kick out to the right sideline. Under it goes Graham. Graham fields it at the 15-yard line and trips up across the 20 to the 22. 1:08 on the clock. 10-7 the score. We'll see if that's enough time for Quinlan Ford to try to tie it up. We've seen the leg of Juan Munoz, the 5'5", 150-pound kicker for this Panthers team. Although last week, he hasn't attempted a field goal this year, only extra points. Hands off to the right side, Donovan Williams following his blockers, gets outside the right hash, now outside the right numbers, and can't get out of bounds, but he falls forward to the 30-yard line, a gain of 6 on the play.
Donovan Williams to the 30-yard line.
55 seconds and counting, 53 seconds and counting in the second quarter. They got to move quickly if they want to get some sort of chance to at least tie it up here in the first half. 2nd and 3 from the 30-yard line. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan. Man in motion right to left. It's Caden Roden. Has some blockers on the left side. The left hash, the left numbers. Outside the left sideline and out of bounds. First down, Quinlan Ford. They're marking him out at the 38-yard line. I thought he got to the 40, but he went out of bounds there. 33 seconds on the clock here in the first half of play. 10-7, Pleasant Grove over Quinlan Ford. Defense has been a stronghold in this one from both sides. Rowdy Rowan under center. The quarterback takes the snap. He drops back. Here comes the pressure and wrapped up, brought down back to the 30-yard line. First sack of the game on the second drop back of the game for Pleasant Grove. 20 seconds and counting. Pleasant Grove, if you remember, deferred to the second half, so they'll get the ball to start quarter number 3. And it looks like they're just going to wind this clock down and do. They're walking off the field. 10-7 will be the halftime score. Low-scoring game. Defense has come up big for both sides. Pleasant Grove from Texarkana. The Hawks have a 3-point lead over the Quinlan Ford Panthers in round 3, the regional semifinal round of the 4A Division II Texas High School Playoffs. Back here for some halftime numbers, and we'll talk with the superintendent, Jeff Irvin, when we come back here at halftime on 92.1 FM, KXEZ. Back at halftime here from Sam Parker Field in Mount Pleasant, Texas, for the halftime of this third round regional semifinal matchup between the Frisco, I said Frisco for some reason, but it's the Quinlan Ford Panthers and the Pleasant Grove Hawks. 10-7 is a halftime score as Pleasant Grove has that 3-point lead over the Panthers. Sponsors for today's game, Howard Barrow Alumni, Doggone Dirty Pet Grooming, Quinlan Family Dentistry, Century 21 Upchurch Real Estate, Belfiore Spa and Salon, North Texas Appliance, Smith's Quality Greenhouses, G&S Discount Sales, Waldron Electric, Ben Wheeler's Farmers Insurance Agency, RW Insurance, and Dairy Queen in Quinlan. To open up the scoring for the Quinlan Ford Panthers, it was a 21-yard, or make it a 12-yard touchdown run from Caden Roden, his 25th touchdown on the season. And then answering right back on the next possession was Pleasant Grove quarterback in for the starter, Jarrett Halter. It was Akari Johnson who ran a touchdown in from 58 yards out on play number 2 of that drive. That tied the game up at 7. Both hit their extra points. And then it was a defensive battle all game long as they finally, toward about a minute left in the game, in the first half of play, it was Enrique Rios who kicked a 21-yard field goal to give the Pleasant Grove Hawks the 3-point lead, 10-7, and that is where we are at halftime. Third quarter and fourth quarter is going to be something crazy to watch. It's going to be another one of those barn-burning games like we saw last week between Quinlan Ford and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Folks, if you can't get us here at 92.1 FM KXEZ, hear the games on TuneIn Radio. Go to the TuneIn Radio app or TuneInRadio.com. Click on 92.1 FM KXEZ, and you can hear us anywhere in the world. So tell your out-of-town family and friends about TuneIn Radio. Turkey Day is over, folks, but Christmas is on the way. Winter is here, and so are the high school playoffs here in Texas in full swing. When we come back, we'll talk with Jeff Irvin, the superintendent for Quinlan ISD, and we'll go over a little bit more about these teams and what I would like to see, because I can't talk to anybody else about it, and hear from you folks about it. If you do, call me, call in, come over, tell me exactly what you want to see from these two teams in the second half of play. 10-7 the halftime score. Texarkana Pleasant Grove over the Quinlan Ford Panthers on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Back on 92.1 FM at KXEZ. Hey, folks, don't miss the UIL Football State Championship starting Wednesday, December 15th at AT&T Center in Arlington, Texas. Ticket information and more can be found at uiltexas.org. I brought back our halftime guest from last week because I just love talking to him so much, and I got so much good feedback about Superintendent Jeff Irvin. Jeff, thanks for coming back on here and talking with me. I know that you wanted to sit down there. I'm sure you want to be around amongst the crowd and your family watching the game, so I appreciate you coming up here and being on air with us today. Jeff, what do you think about, as we always do, we're going to talk about the first half. What do you think about the first half of play? It's a neck-and-neck game, kind of like we saw last week, but slightly different because the defenses on both sides have been fantastic.
Mm-hmm. We're in a game of our life here. They are strong physically, and it's going to take everything we got to pull this out. But, we've done it week after week leading up to this point, so I have faith. They're very fast. We've got to counter that speed with something, and I know our coaches are in there making adjustments at halftime. Actually, we scored first. That was encouraging, and we did lose our starting nose guard right off the bat.
Right.
So, little Corbin Fowler, he's not little, he's strong. He's sophomore, and I appreciate everything he's done for us this year, but he's out. And then the series before, we lost our starting center.
Right.
So we're having to regroup, and then we've got a couple others. But you know what? Everybody's nicked up this time of year. You just got to play. You just got to play.
Exactly. I love that. It's not always it's always next man up mentality, but like you said, everybody's nicked up, everybody is hurt,
mm-hmm.
and you got to play through. This is the playoffs.
That's the playoffs. It's for real. You lose, you go home.
Absolutely, and that's something Quinlan Ford's going to avoid because, Jeff, this is the longest, the furthest that Quinlan Ford has ever gone. We talked about last week when they won, if they were going to win, that it would be the first time they advanced to the third round of the playoffs, this regional semifinal round. What does it mean to the community? Look at all the people here on the home side of Mount Pleasant. It's an hour away from Quinlan, not a crazy far drive, but it's a little bit of a drive to come out here. Everybody made it. What is them going this far in the playoffs for the first time ever have an impact on the community?
Well, I'll tell you, wearing blue and white right now, there's great pride in that, as you can see from the from one side of the stands to the other. We're packed, and we couldn't sit over there. So we encountered that last week at Sulphur Springs. And it's given these guys a lot of pride. It's given our community a lot of pride. And I was just talking to the gentleman next door. He's covered us forever. And he mentioned this is the first time he's seen us go this far. And we're excited about it. You know, it's something certainly we want our young kids to pay attention to and to build upon going forward.
We talked about last week about how this team have been role models for the kids in the community and football-wise. Let's take away everything else, academics, which is always important. I'm not saying it's not. But just talking about football-wise and the football program, that's big. If you can get young kids, elementary school, middle school kids who are pumped up about the football team and want to be like them, become role models, you talked about it. How big is that?
That's huge. You know, our guys, they're so accommodating. On Fridays, they'll get to school early, put on their jerseys, and a lot of them will hike it over to our elementary, a half mile. Well, they'll drive. And greet the kids as they're coming in and getting off the bus and parents dropped off, and just instilling pride in them to be a Panther.
It's crazy. I mean, I grew up in Rockwall. You were at Rockwall. You coached at Rockwall football, and we did that to an extent. Rockwall at the time when I was growing up, it got a little bit bigger. When you were there, it was kind of a small place in terms of high school, but we kind of did that, and that helped a ton. I know that I had friends and family in middle school who were pumped up to see high schoolers in their jerseys come to them. So that's huge in my eyes to see that for this community. And Quinlan's always been a beautiful place to live. I think I've had a couple of friends who live there who love it. And that community also getting behind this football team, like you said, is big personally with your family. How are they connected to the football team, and then how much do they enjoy watching this team?
Well, you're talking about my family? Or
yes,
the community?
Specifically.
Oh, my mom and dad are here. They were here last week. They're 80-something years old. They celebrate their 60th wedding anniversary. They celebrated it yesterday.
Oh, congratulations. Congrats.
But they're here in the cold. They're so excited. And a lot of my family, they're texting those that could be here. Some had to leave, but they've jumped on board. They're Panther fans, and they're pulling for us.
Absolutely. It's such a fantastic atmosphere out here. We're talking with the superintendent of Quinlan ISD, Jeff Irvin. He's so kind to come out here and be on during halftime with us. It is a crazy game so far. 10-7 is the halftime score as Pleasant Grove, we'll talk a little bit about them too. They have a 10-point or 3-point lead, 10-7 lead over Quinlan Ford. Texarkana Pleasant Grove. I told them, I don't know if you know this exactly, but they are 21-2 since 2017 in the playoffs. 21-2. They've won 2 state championships since then.
Yes.
And they have been crazy, crazy good. And you mentioned it a little bit. What do you think makes them tick?
I tell you what, it starts with the community being supportive of your coach and being supportive of your administration, the school board, supporting the administration and vice versa. And then from there, it starts with kids getting in the weight room and starting off season. Whatever team gets knocked out 2 days later, it begins for the future season. You got to get in the weight room. You got to start off season.
Right.
So they're rolling over there. I looked this morning just to see 2 years ago, the state champion in Division II. I knew they were great. I knew they had been to state multiple times and gotten close. So it's a great program.
They've really turned it around since Josh Gibson, the head coach, has come around, and he's been there in 8 seasons now, and he's got 79-29 record with Pleasant Grove, which is just ridiculous.
Wow. And
you see it today. They are fast. They're strong. They're a fully functional team. Although they're 7-5 coming in, they don't play like a 7-5 team.
No, they do not. They played some tough teams early on and suffered a loss here or there, but it's not indicative of what they're capable of doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll take a quick 30-second break. When we come back here on 92.1 FM KXEZ, we'll talk more with Jeff Irvin if he stays on with us, if that's all right. And we'll talk a little bit about what we want to see from the second half from both of these programs going in, more specifically Quinlan Ford, when we come back on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Back on 92.1 FM KXEZ, halftime score here at Mount Pleasant at Sam Parker Field, 10-7, as Pleasant Grove has a 3-point lead over your Quinlan Ford Panthers, a 3-time state final appearance, Pleasant Grove, and a 2-time state champion in Pleasant Grove. Let's do a little bit from football. It's the day after Thanksgiving. How do you celebrate, your family celebrate Thanksgiving, and how much do you enjoy that? If that's not for me personally, that's my favorite holiday. not sure how other people feel about it.
That is my favorite holiday. No gifts, no pressure, just having family over.
Absolutely.
Enjoying watching a football game or going outside and playing some football.
Yeah.
You know, it's the best holiday to have.
Growing up, I loved it the most. I mean, being around family is always my favorite thing to do. Yesterday, you know, my mom comes over and she, you know, all of the family comes over. She cooks, my sister cooks, brother, sister-in-law, and everybody gets together. And I think that's the most beautiful time of the year. You sit down after you eat and you watch some football and have a good time. I'm a big turkey guy. Most people don't like turkey nowadays that I talk to. They think it's too dry or whatever. And I think it's just about the way you cook it. Well, what is your are you a turkey or ham guy, and what's your go-to side?
Go-to side would be baked green beans.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Turkey, though.
Yeah.
I'm turkey.
Big-time turkey with some gravy.
Exactly.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. I know we just had Thanksgiving, but I need another one. That's why I'm happy Christmas is just around the corner, too.
If I'd have known that, I'd have brought you some leftovers.
I would have greatly appreciated that. 10-7, the halftime score at Mount Pleasant. You've seen this team all year long, Jeff. What makes them so good, and what do they need to get back to get back into this ball game?
We're going to have to convert third downs. You know, we've got a couple of first downs on fourth down, but we really need to be pushing to get them on third. They're going to have to replace the two men that we've lost. Others are going to have to step up, and they're going to have to continue to play as a team. That's what they've done all year. There's no prima donnas on this team. They just all pitch in and cover each other's backs, and have gotten to the point where they are today because of that.
I think that's beautiful. I mean, team is, as they always say, is only as good and only as strong as their weakest link. And I mean, if they stick together, like you say, you told me that last week, that there's no prima donnas. Everyone does their job no matter what it is, and they work together like just one beautiful machine. Third downs, big time. They've not converted a whole lot of third downs this game. And last week, they had a lot of first down runs that came up big plays. And this week, the Pleasant Grove defense has really, fast-tracked that to the point where they haven't been able to get anything going. And the run game is what they do best.
Exactly. The run is where we earn what we get on the field, and give credit to Pleasant Grove. They've done outstanding defensively.
Right.
So. And
Pleasant Grove, what have you seen from them besides the defense? What have you seen from them that you liked?
I tell you what, the quarterback they brought in right after the interception,
Akari Johnson.
He has speed. He has wheels. Scored on the second play that he was in right after that. So we've got to find a way to account for him and the two other running backs. Plus, you saw they can throw the ball.
Absolutely.
The kid made a heck of a catch to get a first down right before the half. Absolutely.
Russell Collins went up and got one for the first down on a long, I think it was a third down, fourth down, and it was a beautiful first down play for them. The Quinlan Ford Panthers have, if anybody out there does not know, and you should know, they've got two running backs that are outstanding. One over 2,000 yards, one nearing that this game. He came in 40 yards short, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
That's Caden Roden. He's going to get it. They've been using him a lot because it looks like the defense for Pleasant Grove is really keen in on to Donovan Williams this game. So Caden Roden's taking the bulk of the carries. So he's going to get the 2,000-yard mark. Let's talk a little bit about how important, because to have that stigma on your program, 2,000-yard rushers, that's huge, isn't it?
It's huge. It is huge. And we feel confident you can put the ball in either one of their hands, and they're going to grind it out and get something out of it. So they've done an outstanding job sharing the load and deserving of all the credit and honors that have come their way.
I saw a couple of quotes from both Donovan Williams and Caden Roden talking about Rowdy Rowan, that they call themselves the Storm because they're lightning and thunder, but they call Rowdy Rowan, they call him the field general because even though they don't throw the ball as much when you hear a field general, you see a quarterback throw the ball 25, 30 times a game, but he really commands the offense and really directs traffic. How big has Rowdy Rowan been all season long?
Rowdy Rowan has been huge, and he became nicked up in the game against Caddo Mills. Didn't play the following week against Community, just getting back into it, but playing through pain, playing through injury. He has not missed a beat when he's been out there and has continued to lead his team to every victory we've had thus far.
He has been absolutely outstanding. 10-7 is the halftime score. Pleasant Grove over Quinlan Ford. Jeff Irvin, the superintendent for Quinlan ISD. Jeff, thank you so much again for coming up here. Is there anything you want to say to those people out there listening right now?
I tell you what, we've got a lot to be thankful for in this country. We just celebrated Thanksgiving, so I hope everybody has time to reflect on that. If not yesterday, today, and the rest of the weekend. So, God bless USA, and go Panthers.
Absolutely. Go Panthers. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the second half straight ahead on 92.1 FM KXEZ. 92.1 FM at KXEZ. We're just about ready to start the second half of play from Mount Pleasant High School in Mount Pleasant, Texas. The third round regional semifinals of the 4A Division II Texas High School Playoffs. 10-7 the score coming into the third quarter. Texarkana Pleasant Grove with a 3-point lead over Quinlan Ford. It was a 21-yard field goal made by the kicker Enrique Rios to give the Hawks the lead from Pleasant Grove. Kickoff from left to right by Eric Hernandez. Is fair caught around the 33-yard line, and Pleasant Grove will take over to start the third quarter right there. Sponsors for today's game: Howard Barrow Alumni, Doggone Dirty Pet Grooming, Quinlan Family Dentistry, Century 21 Upchurch Real Estate, Belfiore Spa and Salon, North Texas Appliance, of course, Smith's Quality Greenhouses, G&S Sales, Waldron Electric, Ben Wheeler's Farmers Agent Insurance Agency, RW Insurance, and Dairy Queen in Quinlan. Akari Johnson out to the right side, pass to the flat outside the numbers on the 40-yard line and down at the 39-yard line, just short of there.
Number 40, Lance Jackson.
On that reception and run was Lance Jackson, the freshman. Akari Johnson, just a sophomore, came in after the freshman Jarrett Halter threw a pick on his first pass attempt. Akari Johnson, up the middle he goes and tackled just across the 41. Down at the 41, a gain of 2 on the play, makes it 3rd and 2. Coming in to make that tackle and stopping him short of the first down marker was Travis Shirley, who's been fantastic all game long. 11-15 and counting in the third quarter, 10-7, Pleasant Grove over Quinlan Ford. Pistol formation now for the Pleasant Grove Hawks. Akari Johnson with 40 behind him. They hand it to Bordley off the left guard. Fights his way to the first down marker. We're going to see if they mark him short or not. It looks like he is. Gets about 2 on the play, but just short of the line to gain. 4th and about half a yard. 10:40 on the clock and counting. And the offense is staying out there on the field with a 3-point lead, 10-7 in their own territory at the 43-yard line. Shotgun, Akari Johnson, Jalen Bordley to the right of him. Somebody jumped early, and again on 4th and 1, the third time a 4th and 1 play for Pleasant Grove has resulted in a false start. It'll push them back 5 yards. And that'll bring up 4th and 6. That's the third time it's happened, folks. And Coach Josh Gibson on that sideline for Pleasant Grove is not happy. I wouldn't be either. But I am happy for Quinlan Ford as they punt this one away. Pleasant Grove does. It's hit down to the 30, takes a nice roll for Pleasant Grove inside the 25, the 20, and now the 15. Picked up and spotted at the 14-yard line. So Quinlan Ford forces a 3 and out and will take over. You heard Coach Jeff Irvin talking about, or Superintendent Jeff Irvin. I keep calling him Coach Jeff Irvin because of his insight on the team and in football. He was a coach back in Rockwall. That's why I do call him Coach Jeff Irvin from the 14-yard line. Irvin did say that he wanted to see them get going, convert third downs as Jaddonovan Williams gets the first carry for Quinlan Ford in the second half of play. He gets it to the 15-yard line. Looks like they might give him the 16-yard line, actually. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 16-yard line. Williams has not got anything going, not in any sort of rhythm right now. Caden Roden's been the leading rusher for Quinlan Ford. 9:40 and counting in the third quarter. Man in motion, left to right. They hand it to Caden Roden, going to the left, and he's tripped up in the backfield and falls forward near the line of scrimmage. But before that happens, there's a flag on the field, and a false start on Quinlan Ford will push him back 5 yards. It'll be second from the 11-yard line, 2nd and 14. 2nd and 13. My math is a little off, folks. Not my strong suit. However, I can count 14 yards right there. 13 yards again. See, I'm not very good at it, but Rowdy Rowan under center. Sweeping left is Jonathan Williams, trying to get outside, and does, outside the left hash mark, but brought down just across the 15-yard line. Marking him down to the 17. 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7 from the 17-yard line. The line to gain is the 24. 9:05 and counting in the third quarter. 10-7 Pleasant Grove over Quinlan Ford. Rowdy Rowan heads under center. Caden Roden, the running back behind him. Man in motion is Jonathan Williams. Rowan, the quarterback, gets there and gets pushed forward past the 20-yard line, close to the first down marker, and falls down. Brought down at the 25. He was hit at about the 21, and then his offensive line pushed the pile all the way to the first down marker, and first down to Quinlan Ford. What a big play on third down. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line now. 8:36 on the clock and counting in the third quarter. Right from the middle of the field. Rowdy Rowan gets the play from Coach Todd Wallace. He heads to his huddle to talk it over with his guys. They're down by 3 to Pleasant Grove here in the third quarter. 10-7 the score in the third round of the Texas High School playoffs. I formation. 3 running backs in, 3 tight ends in, I should say, as this one's tossed out to the right, but a flag comes in before the play gets going. And it's a delay of game penalty on the offense for Quinlan Ford. That pushes them back 5, 1st and 15 from the 20-yard line now. Clouds now coming in from the south. Nothing too crazy, though, as it tossed out to Caden Rowan, gets past the 25-yard line, the 30, the 35, and finally brought down to the 37-yard line. Caden Roden gets those 5 yards back and then some. And it's a first down for Quinlan Ford. Roden, who's 40 yards short of the 2,000-yard mark, has been on his game today. Under 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 10-7 the score. Pleasant Grove, who have won 2 state championships since 2017 with a record in the playoffs of 21-2. Standing in the way of Quinlan Ford in the 4th round. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan, quarterback keeper. Left side with some blockers. Stiff on with the right arm outside the hash, now outside the numbers at the 40-yard line and down near the 43. Rowdy Rowan doing with his legs right there with 7:25 on the clock in the third. Gain of 6 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 4 from the 43. The thing with this Quinlan Ford formation that they run all the time, in base formation, the fly tee, instead of the wing tee, as Coach Todd Wallace likes to talk about it, they switch everybody out quickly. Donovan Williams motion left to right, and they hand it off to him to the left side now and gets the first down for Quinlan Ford on 2nd and 4. Gets it across the midfield mark. No, he's down just short of there, a yard from the 49-yard line, their own 49, going left to right. From the left hash mark, 6:40 and counting here in the third quarter. 10-7 the score, Pleasant Grove over Quinlan Ford. Marquise Graham comes into the ballgame. 10 seconds on the play clock now. They just break huddle. They hurry to the line. 3 tight ends, 2 running backs, Rowan under center. Man in motion, right to left. The ball's on the ground. The ball's on the ground. But Rowdy Rowan was able to secure it. a broken play and could have been absolute disaster for the Panthers.
Recovered by Quinlan Ford.
But Rowan fell on it, and what is a 2-yard loss seems like a win after that ball was on the ground for quite a while, but he fell down, and Rowdy Rowan takes the recovery. Going to be 2nd and 12 from the 47-yard line. The line to gain is the opposite 41 in Pleasant Grove territory. Graham, the wide out to the right side. Donovan Williams, left to right, and quarterback keeper, and down goes Rowdy Rowan. Slung to the ground by Reese Elrod, the outside linebacker for Pleasant Grove, and Rowan is shaken up. The referees blew the whistles and are talking a little bit about what was going on, and they're conferring with each other, and it's a personal foul, shot blocked by the offense.
Personal foul.
But that penalty is declined. Instead of replaying that 2nd down, they're going to stick with that loss on the play on 3rd, and they'll bring up 3rd and, I'll tell you folks, my math is not great. 3rd and 15 right there. That's an even number for football terms anyway. 3rd and 15 from the 44-yard line. Rowan under center, takes the snap, fakes it. The ball's on the ground again. Fumble. Quinlan Ford lost it. And Pleasant Grove looks like they might have recovered it. No call from the official, and now it is Pleasant Grove.
Fumble on the play, recovered by number 34, Ezra Youngblood.
And it was Ezra Youngblood who recovered it. Miscommunication on the snap.
Pleasant Grove left the ball at the Panthers.
As Rowdy Rowan tried to turn around and hand it to Donovan Williams, but Donovan Williams didn't take it, and the ball fell to the turf. Youngblood fell on it, and a turnover. First takeaway of the game for Pleasant Grove. Akari Johnson in at quarterback, hands it up the middle to Jaden Stewart. Actually, it was Davion Stewart. No gain on the play to the 40. Make it the 39-yard line. 2nd and 10 from there. From the left hash, 5 minutes and counting in the 3rd quarter we go. 10-7 the ball game. Pleasant Grove with a 3-point lead over Quinlan Ford. The undefeated Quinlan Ford. Akari Johnson drops back, has some space, steps up, fires to the right side, and picked off! Picked off by Rowdy Rowan at the 2-yard line. Reverses his field at the 5, the 10, and brought down at the 15. Rowdy Rowan, who coughs up the ball on the previous possession, comes up with a huge interception. Akari Johnson wanted it all, and Rowdy Rowan says, "I'll take that, thank you very much." Takeaway, possession for Quinlan Ford. Down by 3 with 4:41 to go in the 3rd. And everything evens out, doesn't it? A fumble on the previous possession, and Rowdy Rowan, who plays both ways, offense and defense, comes up big. Ball at the 15-yard line now for Quinlan Ford. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan, who's got a little bit of a limp right now. Handoff left to right. To the left side is Donovan Williams, stiff-arming his way across the 15 to the 20-yard line.
Donovan Williams with the carry out to near the 20-yard line. Tackled by number 4, Colin Manning.
They'll spot him at the 21. 4:20 on the clock and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Williams will come out as Zaylen Morales will come in for him. Not a whole lot of scoring here. Only 1 touchdown apiece for each side. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan. Hand off to the left side, Caden Roden. Patient, following his blockers and brought down near the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 4. 3rd and 3.
With the carry.
3:45 here in the 3rd quarter. 10-7 the ball game. Pleasant Grove, who's had so much success as of late, taking on a team that before this year, Quinlan Ford, not so much, but they have been on one of the most historic runs in 4A Division II history at the moment. 10-7 is the score It's a toss out to Caden Roden. Gets them nothing on third down. It'll be 4th and 3 from the 22-yard line. A team that leads the nation in yards per game on the ground, 528 yards per game rushing. And they'll punt this one away, 4th and 4 from the 21-yard line. Under 3 minutes to go here in the third. Rowdy Rowan back to punt. Gets this one away, angle to the right side, hits down at the 44-yard line and goes out of bounds across there to the 45. And Pleasant Grove will take over. Not a great kick, but it does get them a little bit of breathing room, the defense for Quinlan Ford. 2:47 on the clock, 10-7 to score. Don't miss the UIL Football State Championship starting Wednesday, December 15th at the AT&T Center in Arlington, Texas. Ticket information and more can be found at uiltexas.com. And off the middle of the right side, and moving now to the right, past the 40-yard line, past the 45, the 35, I should say, and down is the running back, Bordley. Actually, it was Davion Stewart with the carry. And back in at quarterback, the starter who was taken out after he threw an interception on his first possession. It's Jarrett Halter. Akari Johnson threw an interception, and now he's done. Really short leash for these quarterbacks right now. Maybe they run this kind of dual set quarterback action, but from the numbers, it doesn't look like it. Jarrett Halter back in the ballgame with 2:16 and counting in the third quarter. 10-7 the score. First down for Pleasant Grove. Hand off to the right side. Now looks to the left side is Jalen Bordley. The ball's on the ground. The ball fell to the ground, and Quinlan Ford jumps on it. Do they have possession? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Quinlan Ford, back-to-back turnovers. It was Cade Whitworth who fell on the ball after Jalen Bordley was upended, lost control. The ball fell to the turf, and possession goes back to the Panthers. And Ford, under center they go from the 33-yard line. 1st and 10. Rowdy Rowan hands to Caden Roden to the left side, past the 35, spinning around, right to left, outside the left numbers, and down near the 40-yard line. They'll give him possession, 9-yard gain to the 42. 2nd and 1 now from the left hash mark with under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. 10-7 the score. Pleasant Grove with a 3-point lead over Quinlan Ford in the third round of the Texas High School Playoffs for 4A Division II. Second and 1. Rowan under center. Man in motion. Right to left. Roden cuts it upfield past the guard. Tries to get that first down mark. He might be short. Ball at the 42. They had to get the 43. He's very close, folks. We'll see what the call is. And first down. Cody Nolan, the referee, signals first down for Quinlan Ford. 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line now. 1:10 on the clock in the third quarter. Under center is Rowan. They hand off right up the middle. And a nice gain of 6 on first down.
Number 6, Blake Holbrook.
It was Blake Holbrook, the 5'11", 165-pound senior, getting in on the action. First carry for him goes right up the middle for 6 yards. 2nd and 4 from the 49-yard line, a yard shy of midfield. 38 seconds on the clock in the third quarter. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan. 2nd and 4. Takes the snap, man in motion to Davian Williams to the left side, and brought down is Caden Roden, who took the snap directly.
Roden with the
and no gain.
carry.
3rd and 4 from the 49-yard line now. The line to gain is the opposite 47. 12 seconds and counting in the third quarter, and it looks like they're going to let that one tick down and head to the fourth quarter. On to the final quarter to play, 10-7 to score. Pleasant Grove, Texarkana with a 3-point lead over Quinlan Ford. We've got a defensive game, folks. We'll see how it plays out. Final frame when we come back on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Back on 92.1 FM, KXEZ. You know, talking to our studio engineer for the day, Connor Caldwell, at halftime, he told me all he wants to see is a Panther dub, and I can't agree more with him. He also said he'd like to see more of the Panthers from Quinlan Ford controlling the ball, and that's what they've been doing all the second half long. They've got 2 turnovers and have held the possession all but 3 minutes. Toss out to the left side to Donovan Williams. Gets outside the left numbers at the 50-yard line inside Pleasant Grove territory. That 3rd and 4 play gets close to the first down mark. We'll see where he marks them, the referee. The line judge says first down, Quinlan Ford. 3rd down conversion, and what do you know, that's what Jeff Irvin, the superintendent, said he'd like to see. They weren't converting on 3rd down. Well, there's one right there, Jeff. Hope you like that. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. Roden under center, man in motion. Williams right to left, hand off to Caden Roden. Up the middle, pushing the pile past the 45-yard line. Big-time run by Caden Roden to the 44, a gain of 3 on the play.
Roden up the middle to the 43-yard line.
20 seconds off the clock in the 4th quarter. 10-7 the score. But it looks like in the second half that Quinlan Ford is well in control of this ball game. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan. 2 running backs behind him. Man in motion, Williams right to left. Toss to Williams. Outside the numbers. Pass it upfield. Dives forward to the 40-yard line. They'll give him the 41. 2nd and 7 play. Got about 4 on it. Or 3, I should say. So to bring up 3rd and 4. They converted the 3rd and 4 just a second ago. We'll see if they can do it 2 times in a row with a minute off the clock in the 4th. Down by 3 in the 3rd round of the playoffs. Under center goes Rowan. Toss to Roden. Cuts it off the guard, past the 40. Spins out right to left, off the tackle at the 35-yard line, and pushes his way for the first down. I thought there was no way he was going to get the first down. Somehow, the big body Caden Roden spins out of it, and it's a first down for Quinlan Ford. First and 10 from the 35-yard line now. Going right to left from the left hash mark. Left to right goes Williams. Big toss to him. Rowan dancing around and cuts his way up the field to the 30-yard line. Nice gain on first down for Rowdy Rowan.
Randy Rowan with the quarterback keeper down.
And Rowan is down. No, not Rowan. One of the running backs down there. It's Blake Holbrook.
34, Ezra Youngblood with the tackle.
So Quinlan Ford is down there. With 10:03 on the clock, our sponsors for today's game, Howard Barrow Alumni, Doggone Dirty Pet Grooming, Quinlan Family Dentistry, Century 21 Upchurch Real Estate, Belfiore Spawn Salon, North Texas Appliance, Smith's Quality Greenhouses, G&S Sales, Waldron Electric, Ben Wheeler's Farmers Insurance Agency, RW Insurance, and Dairy Queen in Quinlan. Folks, shop where we shop. North Texas Appliance, located I-30 in Rockwall. 1535 East I-30 to be exact, on the South Service Road. For famous brands like Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, General Electric, Monogram, and many others. First quality appliances also come at good prices. That's North Texas Appliance in Rockwall. Blake Holbrook came up after that, the trainer is going to go check on him. Looks like he'll be all right. He walks off under his own power, but holding that right arm of his. 10:03 on the clock in the 4th quarter. 10-7 the score. A 3-point game. Quinlan Ford trying to claw their way back into this one as the Panthers are on the prowl. For the 30-yard line, man in motion, left to right. Rowan runs into his own man and goes to the backfield and gets dropped down. Rowdy Rowan turned around and tried to get outside, but he ran into his own man, Gustavo Sanchez. He gets taken down for a loss of 4 on the play. They get 3 to the 33-yard line. They'll make it 3rd and 8 from that 33. With 9.5 left to go in the game. 10-7 the score. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan. 2 running backs behind him. 2 tight ends. Flags come in. Someone moved early. Big time for Quinlan Ford, and a false start will push him back 5 yards.
Timeout, Quinlan Ford.
And no, before that happened, before they moved, it was a timeout by head coach Todd Wallace and Quinlan Ford. 92.1 FM KXEZ is your Metroplex home for Texas A&M football and men's basketball. The Aggie football team is going to head to Death Valley on Saturday to take on the LSU Tigers. Kickoff at 6 p.m., pregame at 5 p.m. And then A&M's basketball team is going to play at home for the first time in 2 weeks. They'll play host to the New Orleans Privateers next Tuesday. Tip-off at 6 p.m. as well, but the pregame at 5:30. Also, stay with us after the conclusion of this game, because I'll stay with you all day long for the best of Texas high school playoff matchups in North Texas. Later tonight, we'll have the regional semifinal match between the Lovejoy Leopards and the Timberview Wolves. Kickoff at 7 p.m. Pregame at 6:30. I'm going to hightail it over there from Mount Pleasant to Frisco. Also, we'll be back at it tomorrow, bringing you some Saturday playoff action. Dyer Wildcats will meet the Byron Nelson Bobcats at the Ford Center in Frisco at 2:30. But here, 3rd and 8, Rowdy Rowan under center, man in motion, talks to the right side, Donovan Williams outside the right hash, down the right number, down the right sideline, and tackled, out of bounds. Big first down for Donovan Williams, and Quinlan Ford gets it down to the 10-yard line. And Donovan Williams comes back limping, favoring his right leg. Remember last week, it was 4 times in total he had to be helped off the field during the course of the game. This time, under his own power, jogs off, but still with a big limp. And he's trying to walk it off. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan. 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. And back and sacked.
Play recovered by number 30, Coy Martin.
No, it was a fumble. Rowdy Rowan went back, and the ball was on the ground, but a flag comes in as Pleasant Grove recovers it for the meantime. Right now, it's a turnover that goes to Pleasant Grove, but the referees are talking about what happened.
Play unsportsmanlike conduct against Quinlan Ford.
And unsportsmanlike on Quinlan Ford. So they will recover the fumble. And they will take possession after a big play by Donovan Williams. They lose it on the snap, and the second fumble for Rowdy Rowan. Makes it Pleasant Grove possession at the 7-yard line. Pleasant Grove lines up under center is Jarrett Halter. Takes the snap, hands it to the right side, to the left side. Dancing around is Davion Stewart, and he falls forward to the 15-yard line. Nice play by Davion Stewart to get about 7 on the play. Make it 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Second down and 2.
2nd and 2 from the 15-yard line. From the left hash mark, Jarrett Halter back out there at quarterback for Pleasant Grove. And substitutions all over the place for Pleasant Grove. Halter under center he goes. 2nd and 2, a man in motion. Johnson, no. Fordley up the middle, gets the first down and brought down to the 20-yard line. 8:24 on the clock, 10-7, Pleasant Grove over Quinlan Ford. Kind of sucked the life out of the crowd on the home side after that fumble.
Tackled by number 40, Travis Sherman.
Sam Parker Field, Ethan Herrera for 92.1 FM KXEZ. Thanks for joining us on this day after Thanksgiving. Winter in full swing now. Temperatures draw under the 40s, in the 40s, under the 50s. With 8:03 on the clock here in Mount Pleasant. 10-7 the score. A Corey Johnson lines up in the wideout. They hand it up the middle. Davion Stewart, 20-yard line, 25-30, makes a man miss outside the left hash mark and down near the first down marker, and he gets the first down to the 31-yard line. Moving the chains to the Pleasant Grove Hawks. 7-5 team coming in, but like I told Superintendent Irvin, they don't play like a 7-5 team. They've got that gritty heart and scrappy type of play. .7:28 and counting in the fourth quarter. 10-7, 3-point game. First and 10 from the 32-yard line. Halter under center. Hands off to Bordley. Jalen out to the left side. Tripped up around the 35-yard line, but they'll give him the 38-yard line. On first down, a nice run. A gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Now from the left hash mark. 38-yard line. Going left to right. Pleasant Grove in their white-on-white uniforms with white helmets and gold numbers. White helmets, blue jerseys, white pants for Quinlan Ford. .6:45, 2nd and 4 in the fourth quarter. Halter to the right side. Stewart past the 40-yard line and falls down around the first down marker. And it is a first down. Another first down for Pleasant Grove. Quinlan Ford's defense is going to have to step up. They want to keep this game right where it's at. 10-7 the score. First and 10 from the 42-yard line. Right in the middle of the hashes. 6:20 and counting in the fourth quarter. Ten seconds on the play clock. They finally break huddle and get to the line. Halter under center. Takes the snap. Hands it to Bordley. Left side. Sweeping. Cuts up the field. 45-50. Still on his feet. Inside Ford territory at the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, and down. Finally brought down by Caden Roden. Hard inside the 25-yard line. Jalen Bordley with a big-time run for Pleasant Grove, and he's still down.
24-yard line.
They call an injury timeout as Jalen Bordley is still on the ground trying to get himself up. Caden Roden delivered a hard hit on him, chasing him down, and he's down at the 24-yard line. It'll be first and 10 from there for Pleasant Grove with 5:50 on the clock. 10-7 the score. Pleasant Grove over Quinlan Ford. Bordley finally gets up, and some trainers are around him, but he's walking by himself over toward the sideline. .10-7 the score in the fourth quarter. Pleasant Grove threatening. The defense for Quinlan Ford trying to step up and keep it where it's at. 5:45 in the fourth quarter. As Jared Halter breaks huddle, was taken out briefly in the first half and now comes back. Handoff to the right side. Dancing around is Davion Stewart. Gets close to the 20-yard line. They'll give him the 21. A gain of 3 on the play from the 24-yard line.
JoJo Bailey, number 22, with the carry.
2nd and 7.
28, Gustavo Sanchez with the tackle.
Actually, it wasn't Davion Stewart. It was JoJo Bailey, the first rush for him on the day, as Bordley was out on that one, but Bordley comes right back in. Jalen Bordley, after he went down after a long run, comes right back in after missing one play. 5 minutes to go here in the third round, the regional semifinal match. 4:50 and counting. Hand off to Bordley. Left side, cuts it upfield. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Pleasant Grove.
Touchdown, Pleasant Grove. Number 15, Jalen Bordley up the middle into the end zone for a Hawks touchdown.
From 21 yards out, Jalen Bordley. Gets his first touchdown of the round and his 20th on the season. The extra extra point is up, and it is good. 17-7, a 10-point game. 4:43 on the clock in the fourth quarter. Quinlan Ford's got some work to do on 92.1 FM KXEZ.
This is the Possum, 92.1 KXEZ, Farmersville, Dallas, and KXEZ.com.
4:43 on the clock in the fourth quarter of play. 21-yard touchdown run by Quinlan Ford puts Pleasant Grove up by 10 now. 17-7 the score. Quinlan Ford will try to score quickly. They're down by 2 possessions here in the fourth round, the third round, trying to get to the fourth round. This is the first ever appearance in the third round of the playoffs for the Quinlan Ford Panthers. Guy kick out to the 20-yard line, fielded on the run by Marquise Graham, up in and around the 30-yard line. Sponsors for today's game, Howard Barrow Alumni, Doggone Dirty Pet Grooming, Quinlan Family Dentistry, Century 21 Upchurch Real Estate, Belfiore Spa and Salon, North Texas Appliance, so we've heard so many times throughout the years. Smith Quality Greenhouses, GNS Discount Sales, Building Materials, Waldron Electric, Ben Wheeler's Farmers Insurance Agency, RW Insurance, and Dairy Queen in Quinlan. 92.1 FM KXEZ and 95.3 FM KHYI The Range are deeply rooted and invested in North Texas. Thanks for listening, and of course, for all of your continued support. And don't forget, if you can't get us here at 92.1 FM KXEZ, you can hear the games on TuneIn Radio. You can go to TuneInRadio.com or the TuneIn Radio app. Click on 92.1 KXEZ and hear us anywhere in the world. Tell your out-of-town family and friends about TuneIn Radio. The crowd cheering for Marquise Graham, who was upended on that kick return to the 30-yard line. And with the help of the trainers, is helped off the field. So let's hope he's okay down there. But a 10-point ball game for Quinlan Ford. A deficit that they did not face at all last week and the week before. This time, in the third round, trying to make something happen. 4:41 on the clock, 1st and 10. Off to Caden Roden, hitting the backfield, still on his feet at the 30, the 35. It looks like he was going to get tackled 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage and somehow makes it a gain of 6 on the play.
Tackled by number 48, B.J. Rochelle.
That'll be 2nd and 4 on the play at the 36-yard line. 4:15 and counting in the fourth quarter. Rowan under center from the left hash mark to Davion Williams, to Donovan Williams, out to the right side, makes the man miss, and brought down behind the line of scrimmage, or right at the line of scrimmage, for a loss of 1. But a flag is on the field, so we'll see what the call is from referee Cody Nolan. Offsides on the defense. The 5-yard penalty on the defense will get a first down for Quinlan Ford. They'll move them up to the 41-yard line, and 4 minutes left to go in this one. They've got to score quickly because the way their offense is, they run the ball. They don't have that much of a passing game. They don't run pass plays very often, so you got to get rolling right here. Bunch formation, Roden in motion, handoff, reverse to the right side to Donovan Williams. Tackled in the backfield, but he pushes forward to the line of scrimmage. Pleasant Grove defense is so fast that they can't get anything going, this Quinlan Ford team. Three and a half minutes left to go in this one. A 17-7 lead Pleasant Grove has over Quinlan Ford. Williams will come out for this play. Rowan goes under center. Behind him is Roden. Behind him is Dalen Morales. He drops back to pass. Rowan out to the left side. He's going to tuck it and run outside the hash mark. The left numbers. The 50 puts his head down and gets inside Pleasant Grove territory. Knocked out of bounds near the 42-yard line. Rowdy Rowan, they looked to pass it, but instead saw open space, tucked it and ran inside Hawks territory to the 43. Officially spotted at the 42-yard line with 3:14 left to go. from the left hash mark. Under center goes Rowdy Rowan, 2 running backs. Ball's on the ground, but he picks it up. And, oh no. Oh no. A fumble on the play, on the snap, the third time it's happened. Remember, this is the second string center. They lost the first string center early in this one. And the ball on the ground, recovered by Pleasant Grove. And, you know, something I don't like to see, folks, is fans leaving the game just a bit earlier than the end of the game. But with 3:11, fans heading for the gates as this one's handed off to Stewart to the left side, the 45-yard line, and brought down near the midfield mark at the 49 with 3 minutes left to go in this one. And Texarkana Pleasant Grove well in control. The defense trying to get pumped up, create some sort of mishap by Pleasant Grove, and see what they can do. Fans headed for the gates. But it's a 10-point game, folks. Not with 2 minutes left, 2:45 left. A lot of time left for something to happen. I've seen crazier things happen in high school sports, especially. But I will say it's a big hump to get over as Quinlan Ford, in their first ever third-round appearance, come in a 2nd and 3. Halter hands to Fordley off to the left side, the midfield mark to the 45. He's got the first down for Pleasant Grove, and that hurts. It really does, to the 44-yard line.
Fordley with the tackle. Fordley with the run to the 45-yard line of the Hawks. Tackle by number 32, Hayes Roden.
It'll be first down and 10. And a timeout by Quinlan Ford with 2:05 left to go. Todd Wallace takes it. A reminder, folks, like I've reminded you all broadcast long, go see the friendly folks at North Texas Appliance in Rockwall. They're located at 1535 East I-30 on the South Service Road, about a mile from the football stadium. That's Wilkerson Sanders Stadium, to be exact. Go by or call 972-771-0393. Again, that number is 972-771-0393. North Texas Appliance, a longtime sponsor of high school athletics here on KXEZ. 3 big turnovers, all fumbles, recovered by Pleasant Grove, have been the difference in this one. Quinlan Ford, who has had such an amazing season, and the crowd that's here is still getting behind him, and I love to see that, cheering on their team that made history. I mean, this Panther team has made absolute history for Quinlan all year long. 12-0 coming in, 5-0 in district. Just the second time they've been outright district champs since 1979. As this one's handed off to the left side, Stewart trying to run past. It was actually Bordley. And a gain of maybe 1 on the play, 2nd and 9. Under 2 minutes left to go in this one, 17-7. Pleasant Grove. You know, folks, I hate to say it's over before it's over, but it looks like they might be able to take this one and advance to the 4th round of the playoffs for the 3rd time, or maybe the 4th time in 5 years.
Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of the game, please stay off the field.
Quinlan Ford, who's won 3 games coming into this playoffs in their history, have won 2. Bordley off to the right side, gets down to the 41-yard line, bringing up 3rd down with 1:12 left to go in this one, and a timeout by Coach Todd Wallace and Quinlan Ford.
Bordley with the carry to the 40-yard line.
1:09 left to go on the clock, here in the 4th quarter in the regional semifinal round.
Timeout, Quinlan Ford.
And since 2010, Quinlan Ford has only had 2 playoff appearances. All told, 2 playoff appearances since 2010, including this one. or 3 including this one, as last year was their first playoff appearance since 2012. They lost to Godley in the bi-district round. This year they put on quite a show. A great game against Godley, won 49-23 in the bi-district round. Area round last week against this, for Quinlan Ford this week. They played Pittsburgh and won 35-34. And it was one of the best games I had seen in quite a while. Quinlan Ford with 1:09 left. Maybe looking to try something. His hands off to Stewart. The 40, the 45, the 35 falls forward, and a first down for Pleasant Grove, and that's the dagger.
Stewart runs the ball down.
Nail in the coffin.
35-yard
The
line.
clock
Hawks.
is winding under a minute. 55 seconds to go. And Quinlan Ford not going to be able to pull this one out. An amazing season, an absolute brilliant job by Coach Todd Wallace and this Quinlan Ford Panther team. All together, they have been outstanding. We'll thank the seniors for Quinlan Ford as we go down. It's the countdown to the final horn here from Mount Pleasant as Halter takes a knee, and that'll do it. Quinlan Ford, their Cinderella story, their fairy tale season is coming to a close as the clock has struck midnight here on an afternoon in Texas. Final score, 17-7, as the Pleasant Grove Hawks from Texarkana move to 8-5 and are heading to the 4th round of the 4A Division II high school playoffs in Texas. It was a valiant effort from the Panthers all season long. They made history. The first time the program's ever been undefeated in the regular season, and the furthest they've ever gone in the playoffs. Pleasant Grove moving on. Helping them do so was the big running back for him, Jalen Bordley. Touchdown run for him and 2 touchdown runs. I think, no, just one touchdown run from 29 yards, but he ran all over the place. Quinlan Ford all game long. 17-7 final score. When we come back on KXEZ, we'll get my final thoughts and a look ahead on 92.1 FM, KXEZ. Back on 92.1 FM, KXEZ, the Quinlan Ford Panthers season is done. They lose this 3rd round matchup against the Pleasant Grove Hawks from Texarkana, 17-7. It was a valiant effort all season long. Again, undefeated, 12-0 coming in. The first loss comes in the 3rd round against a team that has been to the state championship 3 times since 2017. And Pleasant Grove has the makings of a team that can go there this year, even with 5 losses on the season. A touchdown run for Caden Roden opened up the scoring in the first quarter for Quinlan Ford. They couldn't get back in the end zone since then. A touchdown run for 58 yards by Akari Johnson pushed Pleasant Grove to tie it up, and then a 21-yard field goal by Enrique Rios gave them the lead, and then to cap it all off, put the nail in the coffin, the dagger, so to speak, was Jalen Bordley for the 21-yard touchdown run in the 4th quarter. (17-7), the final score. Texarkana Pleasant Grove moving on. Quinlan Ford going home, but the future is bright for this amazing team. A thank you to the seniors, Jaddonovan Williams, Lionel Padron, Marquise Graham, Jeremy Griffin, Blake Holbrook, Chris Ebert, Cyrus Adair, Rowdy Rowan, Juan Munoz, Caden Roden, Johnny Owens, Cesar Alberto, Ethan Lorman, Tahigan Marshall, Omar Terran, Jonathan Granados, Brandon James, Matthew Wisdom, and finally Matthew Stevens. Big thank you to the Quinlan Ford seniors for this year. We thank you for everything you've done and wish you good luck on your future endeavors. Let's thank our sponsors one last time. Howard Barrow Alumni, Doggone Dirty Pet Grooming, Quinlan Family Dentistry, Century 21 Upchurch Real Estate, Belfiore Spa and Salon, North Texas Appliance, Smith's Quality Greenhouses, G&S Discount Sales, Waldron Electric, Ben Wheeler's Farmers Insurance Agency, RW Insurance, and Dairy Queen in Quinlan. Well, folks, when we come back, we'll do one more final word. 17-7, the final score here at Mount Pleasant on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Go see the friendly folks at North Texas Appliance in Rockwall, located at 1535 East Side 30 on the South Service Road, about a mile from the football stadium. You'll find brands like Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, General Electric, Monogram, and many others. First quality appliances also come at good prices. That's North Texas Appliance in Rockwall. Also, stay with us after we end this broadcast, because I'm going to follow you all day long, bring you the best of Texas high school playoffs in North Texas. As later tonight, I'll be there to have the regional semifinal matchup between the Lovejoy Leopards and the Timberview Wolves. Kickoff at 7 p.m. with the pregame starting at 6:30 from the Frisco Ford Center at the Star. Also, tomorrow we'll be back at it, bringing you some of Saturday. We'll bring you some Saturday playoff action. The Geyer Wildcats will meet the Byron Nelson Bobcats at the Ford Center in Frisco. Kickoff at 2:30, pregame at 2 o'clock. So be sure to stay tuned into 92.1 FM KXEZ, your Metroplex leader in high school sports, and for Game 2 of our high school playoff doubleheader today on this Friday, right after Thanksgiving. When we come back now, we'll have final thoughts on 92.1 FM KXEZ. (17-7), the final score from Mount Pleasant. Quinlan Ford's historic season comes to an end, stopped by the Pleasant Grove Hawks from Texarkana. One more thank you to our sponsors: Howard Barrow Alumni, Doggone Dirty Pet Grooming, Quinlan Family Dentistry, Century 21 Upchurch Real Estate, Belfiore Spa and Salon, North Texas Appliance, Smith's Quality Greenhouses, G&S Discount Sales, Waldron Electric, Ben Wheeler's Farmers Insurance Agency, RW Insurance, and Dairy Queen in Quinlan. Thank you to Jeff Irvin, the superintendent for Quinlan ISD, for joining us today. Thank you to the Quinlan Ford Panthers football team for having us. And thank you for the fans listening all year long. For Connor Caldwell, our studio engineer, for Ken Jones, I'm Ethan Herrera, saying thank you and have a good evening. We'll be back here on 92.1 FM at 6:30 from the Ford Center as our doubleheader for high school Texas playoff football continues on 92.1 FM KXEZ.